Jennifer Lopez sat at the view table on a Tuesday morning that felt like the room already knew it would break. She wore a crisp white blouse, no flashy jewelry, hair pulled back tight like she was daring them to test her. The audience clapped louder than usual when Whoopi said her name. That curious, waiting kind of applause that says they know she's not here to play it safe. Whoopi started warm, her voice the steady thing trying to hold the table together. She said, "Please welcome Jennifer Lopez, artist, entrepreneur, mother, and someone who never stays quiet when it matters." Jennifer gave her a small nod, the kind that didn't even try to pretend. She said, "Thanks for having me." Joy Behar leaned in first, her pen tapping her note card like she'd been rehearsing the first jab all morning. She said, "Jennifer, people are tired of being preached to by celebrities. What makes you think you know better than the people you're lecturing?" Jennifer didn't blink. She said, "It's not about knowing better. It's about not pretending you don't know it all." The audience gave a soft, "Ooh," but no claps yet. Just that hush that hangs when people feel the tension tighten. Joy let out a short, dry laugh. She said, "So you think you're the voice of the people now? You've got mansions in Miami, houses in LA, and you think you know what a working mom goes through." Jennifer's jaw flexed once, but her tone didn't break. She said, "I know what it's like to work 3 jobs to feed my family. I know what it's like to be told to sit down and look pretty." Sarah Haynes jumped in, voice softer like she was trying to catch the moment before it cracked. She said, "But Jennifer, do you ever feel like you put too much pressure on people? Telling them to hustle, to never stop? Some people can't do it all." Jennifer turned to Sarah, her tone softened, but her eyes stayed sharp. She said, "I don't tell people they have to do it all. I tell them not to let anyone say they can't." The audience clapped once, quick, awkward, then fell quiet again. Sunny Hostin spoke next, her voice calm but tight underneath. She said, "But do you think sometimes you make it sound too easy? Like hard work alone is enough when we know the system is broken?" Jennifer's eyes narrowed just a touch. She said, "Hard work doesn't fix everything. But telling people they're stuck forever doesn't help either." Joy's pen tapped harder now. She said, "Easy for you to say when you've got more money than God." Jennifer leaned forward, elbows on the table, her voice flat and steady. She said, "Money didn't put me here. Work did. Showing up when people said I shouldn't did." The audience hummed, that low ripple that says they know the next line might break wide open. Joy leaned closer, her grin sharp. She said, "So what? You're some kind of hero now." Jennifer's voice dropped, each word colder than the one before. She said, "No, but I'm not your punching bag either." Joy's pen hit the table with a snap, her voice rising just enough to sting. She said, "You come on The View and act like you've got it all figured out. You think your story works for every woman watching this show." Jennifer didn't flinch. She said, "No, I think every woman has a story someone's trying to silence." The audience didn't clap, just that low ripple, like a breath held too long. Sunny Hostin leaned in, her voice calmer but edged with disbelief. She said, "Jennifer, you say you're empowering women, but sometimes it sounds like you're blaming them too." Jennifer's eyes flicked to Sunny, that half smile that didn't reach her eyes. She said, "I blame the people who tell women they can't. I don't care if they're in the government or sitting at this table." Whoopi's tone cracked through, steady but cold underneath. She said, "That's a big claim. Who here is telling women they can't?" Jennifer didn't look away. She said, "Anyone who calls ambition selfish. Anyone who says a mother's only job is to be quiet and grateful. Anyone who says if you mess up once, you're done." Joy snapped back, voice tight enough to make the audience shift in their seats. She said, "You're not better than the rest of us because you hustled. You got breaks people don't get." Jennifer leaned forward, her tone dropping lower, flat enough to feel like a slap. She said, "I made my breaks. Nobody handed me anything." The hush spread wider. No gasps, no claps, just that frozen line you can't cross without something cracking. Sarah's voice came in, softer but firmer now. She said, "But do you understand why it sounds so harsh, Jennifer? Some people can't hustle their way out." Jennifer turned to Sarah, the only softness she gave. She said, "I know. And for them, we fight. But we don't fight by telling people they're powerless. Joy's pen tapped again, but her voice was sharper than ever. She said, "You're delusional if you think every woman can just dance her way to the top like you." Jennifer's jaw tensed, her voice cold enough to drop the air. She said, "I didn't dance my way here. I fought for it. Every stage. Every room that said no." Whoopi leaned in, her tone calm but final. She said, "So what's the point, Jennifer? Why come here if all you want to do is lecture people?" Jennifer's chair shifted an inch, the scrape a warning. She said, "Maybe I came to remind people you don't get to keep them small just because it makes you feel bigger." The audience gasped. A woman in the front row clapped once, then dropped her hands when no one joined her. Joy's face twisted into that grin that never softened anything. She said, "Keep talking, J.Lo. The world loves a good performance." Jennifer's eyes locked on her, flat and done. She said, "And you love tearing down anyone who doesn't clap when you do." Joy's pen dropped from her hand, her smile twisting into something cold enough to feel like the lights above the table just got brighter. She said, "So that's it? You come here, preach at everybody. Then what? Walk out when someone doesn't bow to you." Jennifer didn't move. She said, "I didn't come here for you to bow. I came here so women watching know they don't have to." Whoopi leaned forward, her arms folded so tight her mug sat untouched. She said, "Jennifer, you're not the only woman fighting. So don't act like you invented the struggle." Jennifer's eyes softened for her, but the steel never left her voice. She said, "I never said I did. But I won't stand here and pretend you're not part of what keeps women quiet." The audience held that hush so heavy it felt like the lights themselves might shatter. Sarah's voice slipped in, low but steady. She said, "Jennifer, don't do this. You know this isn't the place to fight." Jennifer turned to Sarah, just for a breath, a flicker of that warmth that always made her feel real. She said, "It's exactly the place to fight. Because it's the place people tell you not to." Joy slammed her palm flat on the table. She said, "You think you're so different? You're not. You're just another celebrity who loves to hear herself talk." Jennifer's chair scraped back, the sound slicing through the hush. She said, "And you're just another bully who hates when someone talks back." Sunny tried to cut in, her voice gentle but lost in the heat. She said, "Jennifer, you're welcome here." Jennifer didn't let her finish. She said, "Not if it means sitting here while you all pretend you speak for every woman." Joy's laugh cracked like glass under a boot. She said, "Run away, then. You'll be back when you need to sell your next record." Jennifer didn't flinch. She didn't grab her mug. She didn't wave. She looked straight at Joy, her tone flat enough to feel like a slammed door. She said, "I don't need this table to be heard." The audience didn't clap. They just sat in the silence she left behind, mugs half raised, eyes locked on the chair. She didn't bother to push back in. She stepped past the lights. No forced grin, no spin, no wave for the camera. The curtain swallowed her up like the hush she left was the only thing worth keeping. By the next morning, the clip was everywhere. Jennifer Lopez destroys the view. Audience gasps as J.Lo storms out. She didn't post a statement. Didn't tweet a word. She didn't have to. Some people perform for the lights. Some people walk away when they know staying means clapping for a lie.